Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live on the Voice of College Football Notre Dame YouTube channel. We are back after taking a week break for Christmas and the holidays. I hope all of you guys had a very blessed Merry Christmas. We have the New Year coming up in the next couple days. We are back this week. Talk about a lot of Notre Dame news. Even though the season is done, there is no off season when it comes to Notre Dame football. Um, Something to talk about today: Marcus Freeman signing an extension. He is back for 2026 and beyond. Told the Giants to go kick rocks, basically.
Told the Titans to kick rocks.
Yep.
I'm here.
We got some We can talk about the Notre Dame USC rivalry that has officially ended. So we'll get into that.
I wouldn't say officially ended.
It's officially.
Pause. Pause.
It's officially ended. And then we'll talk about some portal news. Notre Dame losing some decent guys that played some decent roles with this past season to the portal. We'll also talk about some guys, again, some updates and some portal additions for the Irish. But anyway, Sean, how was your Christmas? And how was the break, spending time with family?
It was good. It was good. Went to Tennessee. Wife's deployed, so went and spent time with my younger brother, Trevor. What's up? And with my dad and grandma and everybody, and it was nice spending time with everybody. And it was a little warm in Tennessee warmer than I was hoping, but threw the football around and was throwing the ball like I was CJ Carr, and yeah, it was a good time. And what about you?
Yeah, it was good. Got to spend time with the family. We had Christmas early. Woke up early in the morning. Woke up. Our presents. My daughter got to open up her gifts. Got to open stockings. Had chili for lunch.
On Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas. It's my wife's family. They don't we do like the traditional Thanksgiving dinner, but for Christmas it's more of like tamales or chili or something like that, something unique. And then was it we on every Christmas then for dinner we have Chinese food. So that was good. I got
So
to watch my
Christmas Eve or Christmas was Chinese?
Christmas. Yeah. I got to watch my Broncos clinch the AFC West on Christmas, so that was a good Christmas gift, even though that game had no business being as close as it was, with Chris Aluadukin being starting quarterback for the Chiefs. Never even heard of the dude.
He actually every time I watch him, I'm like, he's not the worst backup.
The fact that they started him over Ian Book, is just insane to me. Ian Book can't get on the field, man.
Book it.
But yeah, but so that was my Christmas.
What did you get? Anything Notre Dame related? I know you did.
I got a shirt. I got like a shirt, and that was pretty much it. Mainly because our big Christmas gift is my mother is taking got all of us Disney World tickets for me, my wife, and my daughter. So we're gonna do like a family weekend.
You were gonna go to the national championship. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a hotel. The secret is out. We had a hotel booked in Miami for the national championship game, just in case, because we were already going to be there for Disney. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So instead, we just spending a couple extra days in Florida. The LA documentary on Netflix is pretty good. I watched that documentary. Peak documentary.
Didn't watch it.
What were you going to say?
I got a signed Rudy little replica Clover helmet my dad got me. Really nice. It'll be in the podcast area. I got a slap the sign thing to go to, a little sign to go around. That's pretty much the Notre Dame stuff I got. So.
Yeah, it was kind of tame on Notre Dame stuff this year.
Usually it's Notre Dame heavy for me, so I'm kind of glad this year.
I also did get I've got me the Bend Notre Dame basketball jersey. So I got that the black and gold
Yeah.
of ironically enough what they play at 8 tonight, so they play in an hour at Stanford. So hopefully we can was it Micah Shrewsbury said his Christmas was ruined. There was no Christmas after losing to Purdue Fort Wayne.
What a guy.
Gotta love being a football school, man. And basketball team sucks. But yeah,
Wait, they lost to Purdue.
they lost to Purdue Fort Wayne.
Who the fuck is that? Is that like a sister school of Purdue?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're Notre Dame and you can't beat sister schools?
They're called the Mastodons, man.
Oh, that's bad.
It's the first time Notre Dame's played them a lot in basketball. First time in school history they've lost to Purdue Fort Wayne. That's like a pay-to-win game.
What's the record? I thought they were having a good year.
They're 9-4.
So they would be
9-4.
10-3 having a good season.
Yeah, and they lost to Purdue Fort Wayne. Yeah, man. Like I said, gotta love being a football school, man. Gotta love it.
I'd rather be a football school.
I would too, but
0-20, and I'm fine if Notre Dame wins the Natty.
But see, for me, I grew up watching the quote unquote glory days of Notre Dame basketball, the men's, because the women's is great.
Who was that tall center that we had when we were facing Kentucky and all that?
Zach August?
Yeah.
Zach Augustine?
Yeah. He was Zach good. August, yeah.
He fouled a lot, but yeah.
That's the only time I remember. I mean, I root for Notre Dame basketball, but yeah, it was.
Did you see? Do you remember Demetrius Jackson?
No.
He was the point guard of our Elite Eight team in 2016. Somehow he has eligibility left, so that's crazy. The basketball stuff that's going on right now is insane.
Wait, he can return to the basketball team?
It's evidently I don't know the exact terminology about it, but somehow Demetrius Jackson still has he has a year of eligibility left because he left after his junior season to go to the NBA.
Yeah, but you left. You shouldn't be able to come back.
But that's the thing is I guess there's some NCAA loophole or something now.
Just for basketball.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's the NCAA.
Was he in the NBA?
Yeah, he was in the NBA. So, hey, bring Demetrius Jackson back. I guarantee you we're not losing to Purdue Fort Wayne. Anyways, we do have a super chat here from our boy Jackson Johnson.
Thank you.
Who works for our sister channel at the Voice of College Football Alabama. Once Riley and Cohen are gone, Notre Dame USC will be back. I guess we can start there since Jackson was generous enough. And we'll get to the Freeman and portal stuff here in a second. I see you, Mike, in the chat asking about the portal. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Okay. First things first. I'm pretty sure I know how we're both going to feel about this. Who is to blame? Who is to blame for Notre Dame USC ending?
USC. Now, I will say this. I do understand the comments of Notre Dame saying, we'll play you anytime, anywhere, and them wanting USC at a specific time that's technically not anytime, anywhere. So I understand that. However, that's not the reason. USC is the reason this is ending. Notre Dame was just it's not Notre Dame's fault. USC's fault for opting out, not wanting to keep things or change. Like they were they're nervous. It affects their playoff positioning playing Notre Dame every year.
Yeah. No, it's definitely I think I agree with USC. I think it's interesting and it's hilarious to see online USC fans try to spin this into Oh, well, Notre Dame's the one that's scared to play us. We offered you week 0, and you guys said no. Your coach lied. Your coach said you'd play us anywhere, anytime. And I guess that's not true. And I'm like, you can't, how can you spin the fact that a team that is 11-4 against you in the last 15 meetings, 8-2 against you in the last 10, has just whipped up on you the last decade plus, and spin that to where that team is the one that's
Yeah.
scared to play you.
It's
That
been
makes
nice.
no sense.
I remember when we would be lucky to beat USC. You
Yeah.
remember that? Like it was like
Mhm.
reversed where we were like 4-10 against them. So I I think they're afraid to play us. They know the trend that we're going. I'm pissed off about it. And I'm so glad that my wife got us tickets to USC Notre Dame when we went, so I can see that game. And I think this game comes back. And I guarantee you, the next time it comes back, we will be there. But I'm pissed because you have a top 5 rivalry that only like World War II and COVID stopped. Top 5 rivalry in the sport. You got Navy versus Army, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn. What?
Oklahoma, Texas.
Oklahoma, Texas, Notre Dame, USC. Like that's 5.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's probably close. They're definitely 4 to 5 range. They're not in the top 3, but they're still a top 5 rivalry. And it's my favorite game. Like now I have to play the Mormons of BYU for the next 2 years, which cool from all the snap talk, but
which BYU
who's
is
our
better.
rivals now? Like, oh, we don't play Michigan or USC, our 2 biggest rivals. We don't play. So now we have to resort to playing Navy continuously every year, and maybe an occasional Purdue, Michigan State. Like that just doesn't satisfy you as a Notre Dame fan because you know you're going to whoop their ass, which we know we're going to whoop USC's ass, but at least it's like it's going to be a game, right?
Yeah. I think it's how I feel about it, and this is going to sound petty, but I don't care, is USC for the last decade, outside of this past year, right? And I guess you could say the Caleb Williams year a couple years ago, they have been one of the reasons why Notre Dame's strength of schedule has plummeted over the last decade. They've been a big reason why, when people talk about that rivalry and we say, like, who has Notre Dame beat? We say, we'll beat USC, and everybody laughs. USC has been down, has not been good, has not been a quality team for most of the past decade. And
I'd say half.
I kind of look at it like I wouldn't be mad if we stopped playing Stanford. I wouldn't be mad if we stopped playing Purdue. I wouldn't be mad, and they're never going to do this, and I don't think they should do this. But me personally, I wouldn't be mad if we stopped playing Navy every year and swap those in. But if
you
can
have
swap,
to play USC every year.
Yes, I think that's one of those as a fan, you want to play. I would, to be honest with you, if it was up to me, I would have Notre Dame play USC every year, Notre Dame play Michigan every year, Notre Dame play Michigan State every year. Like that's that. And I'm trying to.
I would say
on you there.
If I had to pick USC Michigan every year, or no, I would do USC Navy every year, and then I would alternate Stanford and Michigan every other year. That's how I would do it. Notre Dame and USC and Navy every year, and then alternate home Stanford, away or home Michigan, away Stanford, away Michigan, like alternate it.
Yeah.
But or home away.
Jackson, I disagree with this a little bit. It doesn't feel like a rivalry now because Stanford is
Andrew Luck McCaffrey.
When they had I'm blanking on who they had post Andrew Luck.
They had St. Brown.
They had was it Bryce Love was really
Yeah,
good. They
Heisman
had
finalist.
our JJ Arcega Whiteside, like he was
God,
really good. Yeah, that's a pull. Uh, those the Stanford teams from like 2010 to
2020, 2018.
2018, those Notre Dame Stanford games were like annually
Look, even
top 20
2020, we
teams,
lost to
top
them
20
a few
games.
years ago, right? Like
2021, yeah, they beat us
2021.
with.
So like, but I agree. It's just been Stanford's been a 4-win team in the last decade, so it's just like it's a shit game
Like,
to
who can
play.
forget the Manti Te'o goal line stand game
That's my
against
favorite
Stanford?
Notre Dame moment. Like,
Like, that one, that game had so much. Both those teams, I believe, were top 10 that year,
dude, there was a
too.
few years in a row where Notre Dame and Stanford were ranked games consistently.
They were like top 20 games pretty much annual. There were years where Stanford was better than USC. Like,
Yeah.
consistently. 2017 was it CMC?
So
That Stanford team?
do we think that they turn it around?
No,
Which
the
CMC for
problem
me
is
is one of the biggest Heisman snubs.
their administration has went away from sports being a focal point. They're kind of like what Notre Dame was after Lou Holtz left, and the administration kind of went back to the ideal of football is secondary to everything else. We're going to focus on the academic side of things. That's
But
kind of where Stanford
Andrew
is.
Luck, I feel, is not going to take losing lightly.
Have you seen Andrew Luck recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
if
I
you want to
wouldn't
do,
do that, Jackson, because that's not like it's too much on the sense of like A, most of those teams are in the same conference, so they can't all play Notre Dame every year.
yeah.
But B, you'd only have like 4 games independent change. So I'd say, yeah, I don't know. I'm
I think
pissed about.
Miami's one. Miami's one I would like to say play every year,
I don't really care
personally.
about that rivalry. I mean,
I do after the shit that happened this
I care
year.
about playing them next year, but like yearly, consistently, I don't give a shit about Miami.
See, you're going to say that. The reason why that game, Sean, became a rivalry, it wasn't a rivalry to begin with. It became a rivalry because both teams, every time they played, there. If you watch the Here Come the Irish documentary on Peacock, Freeman, they showed behind the scenes of him preparing the guys for Miami and trying to instill what this rivalry means. And he was playing clips of the 4 games from, was it 87 to 90, and the winner of that game every one of those years ended up winning the national championship. Like, if it gets to that point, like this year, Miami beating Notre Dame by a late field goal week 1 at home is the reason why Notre Dame's not in the playoff.
And the reason
That
they're good.
matters. Yeah, that matters. Like, you don't think that this year there's going to be a little extra oomph to
Well,
that game
I'm
in South
excited to
Bend?
play them. Like, and I look forward to beating them by 20 plus next year, and I really think we do. But I don't know. Like, I just rather play USC. I'd rather play Michigan. I'd rather play Michigan State. Like, I'd rather play those teams than Miami. To be
Um,
honest, I'd probably rather play Clemson than Miami. Sorry.
yeah, but I do want to get back on track here. With USC, right? Like, you read the Ross Dellinger article, and for the people in the back, what happened is Notre Dame and USC had basically all but put pen to paper on a 2-year extension where the game would be played the same time it always is, in October at Notre Dame, in late November at USC. How it's been played for the last 100 years. USC, I guess, then changed their mind and said, no, we want to play you early in the season. Notre Dame said, okay, well, we can't do that because we already have our schedule made. Our first 6 games of the year, first five or six, first 5 games of the year are already scheduled in a row. Like we have those first 5 weeks of the season. You have Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue. We can't do that. And then USC's like, okay, well, it's either week 0 or we're not playing at all. And Notre Dame's like, well, we can't do that either because there's rules in place to get a waiver from the NCAA to play a game in week 0. Either one of you had to have played a game in Hawaii that season, or that game has to be played internationally. Like Notre Dame, are we really going to make Notre Dame play USC in Ireland every single year, week 0? I just the thing that annoys the crap out of me is I feel like Notre Dame fans or most people understand that most college football fans understand that this is USC tucking tail and running away from a game because they want to go down the Indiana route of scheduling where they play 3 cupcakes in the non-con so they can be halfway to bowl eligibility every single year. That's one less loss on their schedule. And it's easier for them to make the playoff. Like, it is what it is. The spin on it where it's like, well, if Notre Dame would just join a conference, this would fix everything. This is Notre Dame's fault. Like, you guys should have just played week 0. Those people that say that, by the way, respectfully but disrespectfully, you don't know what you're talking about. Because, again, I just broke down why Notre Dame can't do that. These games are scheduled years in advance. The first few weeks of the season, Notre Dame saves for games like Texas A&M, Ohio State, Georgia, teams that are meant to be there for mutual benefit for the SEC team or the Big Ten team, whoever that big team is, to have a resume booster at the early in the season, and for Notre Dame to have a strength of schedule booster. Like, we can't put USC there.
Could just buy out the game.
What, buy out Rice?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so, okay. And guess what that turns into? You screw over a team. You say, hey, Rice, go kick rocks. We're putting USC week 2. We're not going to be able to do that every single year. We're not going to be able to play USC week 2 every year.
Well, our schedule for the next 5 years, and that's why 2030 is the big point, because it's pretty filled early in the year. But once 2030 hits, I'm pretty sure we have games scheduled, of course, but it's open enough to where they can restart negotiations for that season, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think Jen Cohen talks about, well, we'll rediscuss this in 2030. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's dead. I think this is what Lincoln Riley wanted. He said, this is what he said 2 years ago when he said, I don't really understand why we have to play Notre Dame. He said that 2 years ago. Like, he's ran from competition everywhere he's gone. He ran from Oklahoma the minute that it was announced that they were going to join the SEC. He ran for he canceled he tried canceling the game against LSU last second in Las Vegas, but LSU's like, no, we have this scheduled. We already have travel plans. You're not backing out of this. And now he wants to. They beat him, but now he wants to back out of one of the longest standing rivalries in college football, all because we want to have a better chance at making the playoff. And again, those people and Jackson commented about this, that they joined a conference and that, oh, well, if you played not a 9-game conference schedule, you would we're acting like USC plays a gauntlet. They have a tough schedule next year. I'll give them that, right? They play Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon. That's tough. That's a tough schedule, right? But again, most years, they will get an Indiana schedule where they will play one good team in the regular season all year. Why are we acting like playing at Maryland, playing Illinois at home, playing at Minnesota is so hard? It's not. And you can't say, well, my schedule's too hard already, which is the reason why they don't want to play Notre Dame, and then be the team that lost to Maryland last year, lost to Minnesota last year, lost to a 7-5 Michigan team
Yeah.
that's quarterback threw for 20 yards. Like I just don't get the conference mentality where it's playing 9 conference game schedules is so hard to do. Notre Dame played 10 Power 4 opponents this past year. I don't think it's, if you're playing in the SEC, I get it. Because most years you're playing Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, teams like that. But when you're in the Big Ten and there's like 4 good teams and everybody else is mediocre to bad, I just don't get it's not hard. We
Yeah.
did it. We technically played a 10-game conference schedule in COVID in the ACC and went 10-0. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that USC is crying with the tail between their legs of how we beat their ass the last few years. But I have a different opinion of.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that they're going to reevaluate this in 2030, and I think that they'll schedule eventually bringing this back. I don't think it's dead. I just think it's in a coma. And I think you watch Stranger Things where Max is running in the dream of Vecna, and she hears the running up that hill, and then she gets in there, and then she wakes up. That's what's going to happen. USC Notre Dame, they're going to wake up, and it'll be played again. There's no way that this rivalry will not be played again. Now, at minimum, I think in the 2030s there will be a home and away series. At minimum. Between 2030 and 2040, there will be a 2-year stretch at minimum where they're facing.
We're not playing week 0, and we're not playing early in the season.
But our schedule will be cleared enough to make the adjustment for that game. They'll add them like we added Auburn.
I'll be honest, after how USC has acted, if it comes to where we have to be the one to bend a knee and do what USC wants, then I will have lost some respect for Notre Dame, because I respect the shit out of Notre Dame telling USC, hey, play the game the way it's been played for the last 100 years. We're not the ones that changed. We're not the ones that switched conferences and blew up one of the Power 5 conferences. You're the one that did this to yourselves. You guys are the ones that, bag chased to the Big Ten. That's not on us. We didn't change. We're trying to keep things the way that they've always been. And ironically enough, people hate Notre Dame so much that I think they're blinded to the fact that Notre Dame is one of the few things that is keeping tradition alive in college football. They're not changing who they are to satisfy the needs or the wants of everybody else. They're not jumping ship to go get a bag from the Big Ten or the SEC. They could easily do that. They could say, well, you know what? Screw you, Navy. We're gonna go play, I don't know, some other team. They don't do that because Notre Dame has respect for the culture, the tradition, and these other teams don't care about it anymore. USC definitely doesn't care about it anymore. If the rivalry meant so much to USC, then they would be willing to compromise with Notre Dame.
So my big question for you is, what evolves from this in the next 20 years? If you say this game doesn't get played again, do we have the result where Michigan's back as a yearly opponent? Or do we have the result of Michigan State back as a yearly opponent? Or do you see a new rivalry being formed and a new trophy?
Well, we've already done that.
Let's be realistic. Rivalry trophies are old, but eventually I feel like new ones are going to start being made eventually. So,
well, we have the rivalry started with Clemson, which I don't hate Clemson. I don't think it's a rivalry. it's one of those games I feel like, I don't know how you feel, Sean. I have respect for Clemson just as like a program and what they've accomplished the last decade under Dabo. Like, I don't hate Clemson. Like,
Yeah, but I don't hate Stanford.
I hated Stanford when they were good. You know what I mean?
I hated
But
Clemson when they were good with Trevor Lawrence.
I I don't know, man. I've never hated Clemson, even when they were good.
When you tell me when they whooped our ass in the ACC
I didn't hate
championship,
Clemson. I didn't like. I hated Alabama, and we didn't play Alabama ever, like besides 2012 and 2020.
so
Like, I
what do
just
you think
doesn't.
happens? Do you think Clemson becomes a yearly opponent?
Well, they already are for 12 years, and then we have a deal with Miami to play more regularly. I don't know like what that thing looks like, but I think you could see just Notre Dame just Clay Clemson has been a better program over the last decade than USC. They've actually won national championships in the last decade,
Made playoffs.
made playoffs. Miami made playoffs, won a playoff game. I wouldn't be mad and opposed to maybe making BYU an annual game because
I would be.
why?
They're not going to be consistently good.
I don't know, man. Like the Big 12 is
That's a
kind of.
downgrade. BYU is a downgrade from USC, and you know it.
It used to be a pseudo rivalry though with Notre Dame and BYU because of the Catholic versus Mormon whole thing, and then the
Do you remember when we played them in Vegas and everyone was like black jerseys, but then they came out these white, gold, like
those were so nice.
yeah.
But yeah, the black like was it the Catholic versus Mormon, and then both teams being independent, like, and I think that's part of why BYU when the USC news dropped, BYU was so quick to be like, hey, we'll play you guys because I think BYU's athletic director came out and said he understood what it's like to be an independent because BYU was an independent just a few years ago, and how difficult it is to consistently put together a strong schedule. So he felt the need to help out Notre Dame, which again, I would not be opposed to playing them every year
Which,
if
to be
BYU's
honest,
game.
kudos to BYU after what we did to them in the Pop Tarts Bowl, right?
I
Because
think that's part of why I think there's some they want to play. There's a reason why
yeah,
we're going to be playing them at
yeah,
Provo this
first.
year.
And
Yeah.
and you notice when they dropped their schedule for next year, who was first? It was Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
But
Like,
speaking of next year, I think we
yeah.
have somebody coming back next year.
Yeah, I wonder who it could be. So yeah, Marcus Freeman is officially back as the head
Many
coach at
men.
Notre Dame. Was that the Ponzi? uh, so Marcus Freeman is officially back. He's got a contract extension. We don't know necessarily the details of that because Notre Dame is a private university, but we do know
I want
he
to know
will
it.
be. I do too. He will be back, and he is back. I don't think this is really anything shocking, so to speak. I think we all kind of expected this, you know. Um, but yeah, he is back. You know, Marcus Freeman tweeted out, was it yesterday or the day before? Run it back, go Irish. Uh, again, we all expected this, but I think again with this 2026 class you got coming in, the number 2 class in the country, you got a team that's returning a lot outside of obviously Love, Price, and Fields and Pauling. You're returning a lot on the defensive side of the ball. Um, this is to me an indication that he likes what he's got going on at Notre Dame. Notre Dame made sure that he's well taken care of, and I don't think he's going to go to the NFL. At least for another 5 to 10 years. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I hope he never goes. But I mean, let's be realistic. Let's compare it short term. Like if he is the next 5 years going to the NFL, by then he'd be what, coach for 10 to 11 years?
Yeah, yeah.
So He did it. He did it. Like, if you don't win the Natty in 10, 11 years, I'd be more like, for now. If it happened now, I'd be pissed off, upset, most depressed I'd ever been in a Notre Dame. I would strongly believe that if he left now, I'd be like, I don't know if we're ever going to win a national championship. That would be my mindset.
Dude, it would have been such a gut punch to get screwed out of a playoff, opt out of a bowl game, and then you lose your head coach.
Oh, I can't even. I couldn't. But yeah, I mean, this is huge. We all knew it would happen. We've said it would happen, that he wouldn't be leaving. My dad is a Titans fan, so he's been messing with me like, oh, you Tennessee Titans, you Marcus Freeman. But I don't know. I knew he wouldn't go to the NFL. I've said for months and years, and every time we've talked about this, Freeman said that with success, you're going to have your name thrown in there. So when you're doing good, you're gonna. That's great. You want this problem, but I also think he's the type of coach, and I've said this forever. Maybe 10 years, it's a different story, but he's the coach that is so good with college kids that he's a leader. He's a mentor. He can. When you coach in the NFL players that are the same age as you, do you have the impact that you could have at what you have developing these young men at Notre Dame professionally in football and in life? Like there's nothing like it. And I think that this contract locks him up. I read this, I'm sure you have too, that I don't see him leaving Notre Dame to a point until at least his youngest kids are gone.
Yeah.
And what's his youngest kid, like 5?
I think 6 or 7. No, I'm joking.
But even if it's 6 or 7, that's 11 years from now. Like, and and it might not be until all of them leave, but it could be a situation where most of them, and that's where you said 5 to 10 years. I agree, he's not leaving. I don't think at all, but like for the next 5-10 years. So
I do think he's going to be at Notre Dame for the next 5 to 10 years. And I agree with you to the point where, like, going to the NFL is different. Freeman's a player's coach, right? He has full control and full roster autonomy at Notre Dame, right? He has full control of what players he gets, what players he doesn't, who he goes after, who plays, who doesn't. Going to the NFL, he's not going to have that control. He's going to have a GM, especially if he were to go to the Giants, which I think part of it is the Giants. Yeah, are they one of the biggest brands in sports? Yeah. Are they winning the biggest media market in the country? Yeah. They're a terribly ran organization with a GM that has had problems with being a control freak. He's not getting fired. Joe Shane is still going to be there. And do you think he's going to let a college coach that has no NFL experience control a roster? No. And I think that's part of why you see so many great college coaches stay in college. Yeah. Because if you are a great college football head coach, you got a good thing going. Why would you go? I don't think you'll ever see Kirby go to the NFL. Dan Lanning, I think, is kind of a mystery because I don't really know. I get a weird feeling that Lanning
to the NFL, but I could see it.
I get a weird feeling that Lanning is more of an NFL guy than Freeman is.
Yes,
personally.
Now let me ask this.
Yeah.
There's only one job in the next 5 years that I could see open up, and I could see
Ohio State.
NFL wise.
Oh. NFL wise, what? The Cowboys?
No. The Chiefs.
Cardinals? Oh. I think
Andy Reid retires. I don't think it's a coincidental that, like, as soon as he has his announcement, Andy Reid says he's returning. But I could see Andy Reid retiring and Patrick Mahomes' love on the Chiefs. I could see that being very interesting, but again, I think that's 2 to 3 years from now. I think that's, and who's to say they probably go after Freeman, but who's to say that there's not other people within the NFL, within the team, within the organization? You never know, right? So, yeah. But this is huge. I mean, just think of the impact. You think of the worst, what could have happened if he didn't come back, but think of the best of now that he officially is. We knew he'd be back. All Notre Dame fans knew he would be back. We were just stressed on the aspect of just, as Alice said already, right?
Yeah.
Say he's coming back. We know it, but say it. We just want to hear it, right? I do think that when they say he's getting paid on the highest of coaches, I would love to see it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's the highest paid coach in college football.
What, higher paid than Kirby?
I could see it. Wouldn't surprise. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying I think it is. I said it wouldn't surprise me.
If Notre Dame thinks he's the guy.
And they do.
When they do.
How many athletic directors have said that they will match anything to keep their coach?
And they will pay Marcus whatever he thinks he's worth.
And he said that on live TV. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, he's the guy.
I don't think Marcus would ever leave for money reasons. I think money would never be the reason why. I think it would either be he just wants to test out the NFL, or, like I mentioned earlier, a certain college job opens up that he has ties to, and they come calling. I think that would be the only two.
And I don't see that. Ryan Day's young. I mean, I think.
Does Ryan Day want to stay in college?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like Ryan Day's a guy that would look to go to the NFL.
Yeah, I think he would have done it by now.
Like if he wins back-to-back this year, if Ohio State wins back-to-back natties, you really think he's going to stay?
Yeah, why not? You keep making money winning.
But he would have nothing else to prove at the college level.
Won 3 in a row.
What? And then after he wins the third, be like 4?
Make more money. Be better than Saban. Make yourself
I
the
feel
goat.
like Ryan Day would be more of an NFL guy, but
I don't see it. But I could see it, but I don't see it. But this is great. I mean, what was your reaction when you saw this tweet?
I was just like, all right, let's go. Like I wasn't worried. There were people in the group chat that were freaking out.
Oh, what
thinking, why is it taking so? Well, no one was trolling, but there were other people in there that were like, "Oh my, why is it taking so long? There's more interest than we thought." I'm like, dude, he's not leaving. Like his agent is doing his job, right? He's having him do the interview for leverage purposes to get more money on a contract. That's how these games are played, right? I think that's what this ultimately was. But yeah, all right. Real quick, we'll get a message from our guy Mark, and then we'll get into some transfer portal news.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
For the last time.
For the
Make
last time.
2025 a winner now.
Now we'll be changing that to 2026. But yeah, let's get into this portal news. Notre Dame lost a few guys in the portal. I'm gonna figure out how the exact number. You had Anthony Rizak enter the portal. You had Tabron Benny Powell, a freshman safety from the class of 2024, enter the portal. His high school teammate
Both
Ben
safeties.
Minnick. His high school safety from the same class, Ben Minnick, entered the transfer portal. You had Jabron Payne enter the transfer portal.
Jadon Blair. And lastly, Carson Hobbs and
Joshua Burnham. You had Marcelo Diamidi enter the portal, or third string kicker. That's kind of
Blair was a little upsetting. We both really liked him, but that room was getting deep.
How do we feel about this? I know you talked about Smothers with a guy that you'd like to bring in, an experienced running back. So are you shocked then that Jabron Payne did not stay?
No, I think we knew he would leave. There was no playing time for him. I'm surprised he stayed as long as he did.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was gone last year. So you probably just done to finish that degree, enter the portal, and get playing time somewhere else.
I do feel for him because if we remember back in 23, him and Estime were the two, and then you had Love kind of slowly but surely overtake Payne at that point, because Price, I believe, had an ACL or something that year.
Mm-hmm.
But Payne got injured, and then I feel like he just kind of continued to just drop below guys on the depth chart. I mean, now he was behind Love. I mean, he was at one point he's behind Love, Price, Aeneas, Keedron Young, like guys that hadn't even played much. I wish him the best because I still remember being there live for that touchdown he had against Ohio State, where it was just pure effort. That's where this picture is from. Lost his helmet in the process. So yeah, I wish nothing but the best for Jabron, but I know you mentioned you wanted some experience back. That would have been some experience, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like a back in the room. Maybe not to start, but a guy to be a compliment to Williams, or a guy with experience that could be a leader to some of these. Kind of like what we had with last year in the wide receiver room with drawing a blank, Captain Pauling. A guy that we didn't really think would start right away, but because of injuries, he was able to come in and produce the Gug Rat, the guy who's staying late, the guy who's being a really good leader. So I'd like that in the running back room.
Yeah, the captain that didn't start the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
I'd like, for me, Blair and Burnham are the two biggest. Carson Hobbs, I'll wave you a big goodbye. Respectfully, sure, hope you succeed elsewhere, but I think a lot of Notre Dame fans can agree that it may have been frustrating at times. His career at Notre Dame was defined by one play. If he got that pick in the Texas A&M game, he probably doesn't enter the transfer portal, but or even get benched or young guys taking over on the depth chart. But Blair and Burnham are the biggest for me. Blair's a young guy that we both really thought he would get playing time at some point, but next year even, and talented. I saw him as a starter in Notre Dame, and shocked he entered the portal, especially with how active him and his dad was on social media. But the room's deep. could be a worse position to have someone in the portal. Burnham, I'm a little upset about. I really thought he'd maybe start next year. With a lot of the depth leaving for the draft, I kind of expected him, but I guess they still view him as a rotational piece, and maybe he wanted to go be a starter somewhere. I don't know, but a lot of experience out of him, a lot of playing time out of him, and that's a guy that I would have loved to have back on the defensive line, but that one hurts the most, I think, is Burnham. It was a surprise with the experience and everything. I was hoping he'd come back.
Yeah, and I think I think the Burnham thing could have been you want to give Bryce Young more run, right? You want to give you obviously have Traore coming back.
Is that confirmed?
Traore? Oh, he's coming back. He's not going to the NFL. It's not confirmed, but I don't think he's what is it? You have Logan Thomas, he's been developing and waiting in the wings, right? You got Rodney Dunham and Watade coming in, who are 2 5-star caliber edge rushers. But I think you want to probably get on the field.
Yeah, but what if it doesn't work out? You'd like to have somebody that could be there, like an Oben.
Maybe. What if Notre Dame brings in somebody in the portal?
And that'd be fine.
Yeah, that could be.
I want somebody with experience.
I do think so. What Notre Dame's had 3 safeties enter the transfer.
Is Tui Alamaka coming back?
Tui Alamaka, he's done. You had 3 safeties enter the portal, so your safety room takes a little bit of a depth hit, but then you replace those guys with Joey O'Brien, Aiden Pouncey, and I think Ethan Long is coming along very well. I know you and me.
Who's that walk-on from Wyoming?
Luke Talich?
Did he? No. Yeah?
Yeah, Talich, yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talich played over Blair, right? You got Tay Johnson at the free safety position, who's going to be your starter there for the next 2 years, right? So your box safety as Schuler is probably gone after this year. So you really, after 2026. So I think you're fine. Now, if knock on wood, Schuler, Tay Johnson were to get hurt, then you're down to Talich and Ethan Long, who Long has played well in his few snaps that he's played. Talich has played very well in the snaps that he's gotten. And then behind them, you're just down to Joey O'Brien and Aiden Pouncey. So I almost wonder if you bring in like an experienced safety, like a rotational guy, kind of like a Stroman, not going to start, right? Obviously not going to start, but just a guy that's played a lot of football and can come in and be a rotational depth piece. Unless you're telling me you think Joey O'Brien and Pouncey are just ready to go right now, like, and they can be that fill in those few snaps. Like, how confident are you?
Give them a year to develop and bring someone in from like Western Michigan or Washington State or even like North Carolina or something, right? Like bring in a guy there that can be a piece,
like a Thomas Harper type, like where you bring him in from. Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. All of those guys are better than DJ Brown, so we've come a long way.
Oh my God. I have the image in my head.
The drop pick. Oh man.
We've been through a lot as Notre Dame fans.
We really have. Just heart-crushing losses. But yeah, and then you mentioned Burnham. Burnham again. I think that's just more of a, hey, maybe you want to give guys in the room that haven't played much, but the guys you got coming in, you want to get them some reps and some playing time. But it's all going to be depending on what Notre Dame does in the portal. I know you mentioned Hobbs. I kind of do feel for Hobbs because, like, I feel like we had ultra high expectations for him, right? based off of his fall camp and spring game. And if you remember his fall camp, he had that clip where he picked off CJ Carr, and then what was it? Carr threw 2 picks, and that was both of them were to Hobbs. Like, Hobbs was making plays in fall camp, and it makes you wonder if the Miami game broke him. Like, he wasn't ready for a guy the caliber of Malachi Tony. And the minute that he got cooked off for that touchdown, it makes you wonder if that was just like
I don't know
the
if
kid's
it was
mentality.
that as much as the combination of that with A&M. I think it was the combination of 2 games. You couldn't show up.
And his confidence just was shot.
Yeah. There'd be
'Cause it's
times
crazy to
too
me-
in those games where he was there to make a play. He was just felt unlucky at times.
Like, because like his backup, right, would have been Mark Zachary or Dallas Golden. Mark Zachary played a decent amount or a few snaps against Miami. I don't know if those guys would have been.
Devontae Smith was good.
I don't know if those guys would have done much better than Carson Hobbs because they were freshmen who had never played. Like, do I think Mark Zachary and Dallas Golden are better corners than Hobbs? Yeah. But I'm saying in those specific moments against Malachi, would they have locked down Malachi Tony? I don't think so.
And
Malachi Tony is a freak.
I think too that if you're Hobbs, you're like, damn, these 2 guys, this guy who's younger than me played over me, more snaps, was better than me. Next year, probably the guy. Which, do we go nickel in the portal?
I think you played a lot of Dallas Golden at nickel. I like him just kind of being your full-time nickel.
But what if he goes down?
Yeah, you probably want to bring in a nickel too. I don't really know who else you have.
You tell Golden, hey, another year of like this, and then you're the full time. I don't know.
Like, or you could say Pouncey because Pouncey can play all over. Or do you say like, hey,
bring the best in competition? Don't be scared.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Aiden can play corner and safety. So, he's not going to play safety this year a lot. Do you mess around and just be like, hey, if Golden gets hurt, we'll try Pouncey at nickel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of stuff you could do. I do want to get into the final topic. Some portal news that came out earlier. Was it last night? Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Deuce night.
Well, that is hilarious, by the way, because everybody's like, "Oh, he's coming to Notre Dame." That would be absolutely hilarious. But former Michigan State star receiver Nick Marsh, according to multiple people, but I decided to source college football or recruits.college football. He is an Instagram page that he's pretty tuned in. He does a lot of portal news before it's like publicly released, but I've also seen on other boards, other stuff from, like a Michigan State board that kind of clarifies this, which I'll get into here in a second. But Notre Dame and LSU have emerged as the top 2 teams to watch for former Michigan State receiver Nick Marsh. He is the number 13 overall player and the number 3 receiver in the portal. He was number 2, but with Cam Coleman entering, Cam Coleman's
damn good.
Imagine we get Cam Coleman. No, it's not going to happen. But, this one, in 2 years at Michigan State, he's totaled over 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns, and he will have 2 years of eligibility remaining.
That's the big part.
Yeah. He's a junior. He didn't redshirt. He played his freshman year and he played his sophomore year. Him and
Which,
CJ
how
Carr,
often do we go after somebody that's not a grad
not
has
a
eligibility?
he does have the academics. Like I know
Oh
that
my gosh.
he does. Like because I saw some people comment on that. But yeah. So with Marsh, right? A Michigan State reporter came out earlier today with some more clarification on this. It's a Michigan State Notre Dame battle. According to
LSU.
him, Notre Dame is the likely. This is Michigan State. What he's hearing, Notre Dame's the likely landing spot, but and that's because he wants to stay closer to home. He's from Detroit, by the way. So him and CJ Carr do know each other. They have done camps and stuff together. They were in the same recruiting class. So they have maybe CJ Carr and they have that Michigan connection. Maybe that's something. But he wants to stay closer to home, but the allure of LSU, obviously, because of what they do in the NFL, them developing receivers, that's kind of what's kind of making this a hard decision for him. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. There's definitely some more stuff that came out, but I'm not gonna say that publicly right now. If it comes out, it comes out. But yeah, I think it's definitely Notre Dame or LSU. I've seen some stuff where Indiana has kind of hopped in this race within the last day. You think he's going to LSU?
I think he goes to Notre Dame. Feels like he's been the big portal topic guy for a while now for us. I think it's going to be Notre Dame. I think the staying at home, and I think the NFL thing's intriguing. But then when you think of, well, Notre Dame's got CJ Carr and Freeman now, I think it's going to be very interesting for him. Yeah, I am. Maybe I'm.
Are you putting a golden brick in?
Yeah, I'm bricked up, probably at 9 confidence, 8, 9 confidence. But I told you this in the pre-show. I said I don't know why. Could be wrong. I'll take the heat for it. This has RJ Oben written all over for me. I know he's defense, but like a big time portal guy that we're gonna go after and ends up being a bust. I don't know. Like I have that feel for me that I don't know. But I would love to get him. I'd love a boundary guy like a Malachi Fields again. I'd love the eligibility, and I think with a wide receiver coach, I think that we can develop him even better than what he was at Michigan State, even with a better quarterback. So I think that this would be great to have. I hope it can translate from Michigan State to Notre Dame,
Yeah, I think it will. Obviously, you got to get this thing done. You got to get the portal opens on January 3rd. So I think we'll start hearing more stuff about this really soon. It's interesting because I don't know about you. You hear all this stuff that Notre Dame's going all out, right?
But you haven't heard anything.
You've heard about 2 targets, right? So far, you've heard Nick Marsh, whose name's been floated out there, I feel like for the past couple weeks, right? And then the number 1 defensive tackle in the transfer portal in Mateen Igbaragba from Wake Forest. Like, those are the 2 guys you've heard. I personally, by the way, I'm going to put my own personal golden brick in for Mateen
How big?
Igbaragba. Confidence level 9 out of 10 for Mateen Igbaragba. I think it's a done deal that he's at Notre Dame next year. So it's interesting, right? Because I feel like last year we had a few names. Like we had like 5, 6, 7 names that you had, right?
Yeah.
This year it's like you hear Nick Marsh and Mateen
Because it's illegal, Ryan, and the portal isn't open yet.
Well, I get that, but I'm saying you heard more names last year, like around the same time when we were in the playoff. And
Yeah.
somebody else brought up a good point. Like Notre Dame was very slow and meticulous with how they handled the portal last year. I think part of that was because they were in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah.
When the portal opened.
What's interesting too is with the portal, how close we were to Walker Howard over Riley Leonard, and I think both wouldn't for Riley Leonard and Howard wouldn't have had the success they had if didn't go where they went.
Dude, imagine if we got Walker Howard and Riley Leonard went to Ohio State.
I think the result would be the same, if not worse, for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't think we beat Georgia with Howard personally.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
or not Walker Howard. It was Will Howard.
Will Howard.
We're thinking of the old LSU quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna end up getting, in my opinion, I think we're getting Nick Marsh and Mateen.
I actually am more confident for Mateen.
Which it makes sense. Wake Forest, he's a grad student.
Yeah.
Grad student. We've had the Wake Forest connection before with Hartman. I think that'd be easy transition. Marsh he's such a wanted prospect that I think that's going to be the one that's harder to get.
There's always a transfer that's a captain. I could see Mateen being that captain.
Yeah, I also think. Oh, we didn't talk about this, but with Kurt Heinisch medically retiring from
Donovan
Heinisch medically retiring from football
surprised me.
That's 4 D tackles. You're losing. You gotta stack up on D tackles.
Yeah, I think you need to get minimum 2 in the portal. Minimum 2 in the portal.
I think you'd go 3.
I say minimum.
Bring in, right. Minimum 2, but I think you need to bring in 3.
Well, you can give some of the guys that you got in the class. Is Brennan Vernon's an interesting one for me. Where the hell has he been?
I did. You don't hear anything about him.
Like, did he transfer?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's
he could be one of those guys that maybe it's time for him to emerge. But I think too we're gonna have Anye back, right?
No, he's gone.
I thought he was going through a waiver process.
I haven't seen that. Maybe he is, but I doubt he gets it.
Oh.
But I'm trying to think. I'm at that point where you get Mateen, right? He's going to be your starter, right? He is. I believe Rubio is gone, so it's going to be based on the depth chart right now. You're starting Mateen and Elijah Hughes.
You could have picked Burnham inside.
I think he's too small to play D tackle.
Yeah, so was Heinisch, but at least as
I think Heinisch was bigger than Burnham.
Yeah.
But that would be your starting defensive line.
You have to rotate with who?
You rotate with Armel Mukum, Sean Civigliano, Davion Dixon. Shout out friend of the show, Davion Dixon.
Which Elijah Hughes was a friendly surprise last year.
But I don't know if he's a starter.
No, but he's a good rotational guy.
Yeah, but
who knows? Maybe a freshman steps up.
Does Elijah Golden play? We had him on the show. Good friend of the show.
We haven't had a guy in a while. We need to get.
We need to start getting back on that.
Off season.
Yeah, now that's we're off season recruit. Yeah, we'll do that.
Nick Marsh joins the channel.
Yeah, I do think Elijah Golden is interesting. He's undersized right now. He's like 270. But
who knows what it'll be by the end of camp?
You gotta fatten that boy up. You gotta get him all
get him all juicy. Get him all golden bricked up.
Plan. Yeah. But yeah, man. It's going to be interesting.
Are you concerned about the defensive line?
Yes, very. Because of the lack of experience. Armel Mukim has barely played. Sean Civiliano barely played. Neither one of them have cracked the rotation. And now if you only get Mateen, and hell, even if you go out and you do what you said, you get the minimum too. There's no guarantee the second guy you bring in is starting caliber. Like, you're really putting yourself, if you're Al Washington, you better hope Mukim's ready.
This is the perfect schedule to play young guys, though.
It is, but then what are you going to do in the playoffs? Are you going to trust Armel
By
Mukim
then, they'll be a starter for a full season. They better be ready.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. But we got the new year coming up, and the portal opens up on the 3rd, so we'll figure out a lot more about how this Notre Dame roster will look like.
We'll have another podcast episode next year.
Next year, yeah. We won't see you guys until next year. But anyways, guys, appreciate all the 235 people that tuned in. Appreciate you guys all tuning in and watching. If you like the show, make sure you go like, subscribe, comment on the Voice of College Football Notre Dame. If you're on Twitter, again, go over to the Voice of College Football Notre Dame YouTube channel, drop a sub, hit a like. We'll be back next Tuesday, next year. Same time as always. Hope everybody has a very, very happy new year. And we will see you guys in 2026.
Tyler Buckman, starting defensive tackle. Thank you. Go Irish.
As always, guys, stay safe. Happy New Year, and go Irish.
Go Irish.